Well, let's work on the old truck. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Oklahoma. Nope, let's reload some shells. Step 1, vibrate brass in corncob media with polisher. And done. We're going to load some 35 Remingtons today. My favorite cartridge of all time. I'm a 35 caliber nut. Oh, by the way, a little hack I saw. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. A little hack I saw. Let me find one. Take your fabric softener sheets, used, after you get them out of the dryer. Cut them into little pieces. Sometimes your dirty media, you'll get that black crap all over your brass, and it won't clean up real good. That takes it out of there. Okay. I've not moved to the wet tumbling method yet. I like it the way I've always done it. Some people say, oh, it's so dusty. You know what? I really don't care. Okay. I'm going to spin this over and over again until I get the media separated from the brass. Next step, clean this black pad to make it presentable. Okay. Now today, we're going to be loading 3 different 35 Remington loads. Matter of fact, there's one. That's a 200 grain Hornady Spire point. So, being a 35 caliber fan, I have several guns and they have several preferences. So, we're going to load 180 grain Spear bullets for a Thompson Center, what is that, a Contender? The single shot pistol. That's what it likes. We're going to load 207 grain cast for some older Remingtons that I have. Plinkers. Now, all these guns will shoot the hunting load. Okay, we'll get into that. But I'm going to load some plinkers. Okay, just a ring steel to 100 and 200. And then we'll load some for my bolt action Remington 35. And then I think maybe one more load. So we'll do 3 or 4. We'll cover 3 or 4 loads today in the Remingtons. So first, let's get our brass out. Okay, let's start with, let's do the 207 grain cast bullets. I've transferred my brass into here. We're not going to use the RCBS single stage. We're not going to use the Lyman single stage. We're just going to use the Hornady four-hole turret. This is the press I started with, and it's been a great one. Anybody that has one could tell I disconnected the linkage so it doesn't go to a different stage of reloading every time I pull the handle. I like doing them all. I like sizing them, then trimming them, and then, you know, I like doing it all singular. But anyhow, we'll get into that. So let's get us, let's do the 207 grain. Let's get us 50 pieces of brass out. All right, we have our dies here. See, I just leave them all in the turret. You don't have to, but if I do that, then that's just what I do. And I made this little thing. So with Lee and Lyman and RCBS, they're all have their own different way to make money. So here's shell holders. Here's trim shell holders. Of course, you know, all my little trinkets and doodads. Pilots back here for the red ink, you know. But so we're gonna need a shell holder number 2, and I'll prime. Well, stand by. Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, the last time I loaded was 200 grain Spire points. So by leaving everything set, the only thing I'll have to adjust is my bullet cedar. But okay, we're gonna do something a little different today. I'm not saying I'm old school by no means, but I have always, well, let me find it. Here we go. This is what I lube my brass with. Okay, I bought this when I first started reloading. And you get it on your fingers, and you rub it on the case, get you some of these long cotton swabs off of Amazon, about every every three of them, run that in there. It just makes it easier to pull the handle and push it up. But today I'm gonna try something different, or a combination. I was given this to try. So I am gonna roll this brass on this Lyman lube pad, but I'm still gonna lube the inside of the necks on, like I said, every 3 to 5. Okay. Felt pretty smooth. Alright, you can see it's been a while since I reloaded. Got some gunk in there. Yeah. I don't know if that'll focus. There we go. That's an old Winchester, Western Winchester. That's cool. Yeah. We will deprime all of these, and then we'll go to the next step. It's a pretty sweet process. I mean, I'm not saying I have, but a man may have been converted here. Oops, don't you fall. Boy, I got lucky. Now we can roll. Awesome. Okay, now we're getting to a part with options. So we have 50 pieces of brass, all deprimed. Okay, so I'm going to take all 50. I'm going to clean the lube off of them. I'll show you how I do that. And then I'm going to clean the primer pocket. I like to use this. I'll show you how I do it. You may have one of these things, you know, and you can just take it and twist it on there. However you want to do it. You may have one of those really cool little brass prep stations, okay? But I do not like that lube on the cases. You'll know it if one builds up and you just feel it. So I'll lay 8 or 10 in my hand, like so. Let me get on camera. Loop that over. And now I have that many cases with the lube off. So I'm going to do that to each one of them. And then after that, once all the cases are clean, this is how I do it. Now, depending on how anal retentive you want to get, I just do it with the large rifle primer side. You can go to the small side. You get to center, whatever you want to do. Also, using this little tool, or any other tool, you'll find out whether it's got a swage crimp in it. Yeah. Look at all that came out. pretty clean. Okay. Okay, let me turn some flash on here just for why not. A couple ways. Now I have 50 pieces of brass, deprimed, and primer pockets cleaned, fully sized. Okay, now let's trim. Number 2, 35 rim, one of them. Yeah, I'll use that one, and that one. Okay. Now this is just the Lee setup. Like I said, all setups are different. That's just what I started with. So now you can chuck this up in a drill, you know, or the Lee zip trim, whatever. I mean, this many pieces of brass, I'm gonna do it by hand anyhow. Okay, that one's good to go. See if we can find one that's a little bit long. There we go. There's one that's long. Yeah, you can see that new edge. Okay. There's a piece of brass. Now, what I've found that most of these will trim maybe 10 thousandths shorter than a book calls for. So only one of these is going to be a bolt gun. So none of these will be neck sized. I'm not going to be that picky on it because a lot of these are just plinkers. All this batch is. So by all means, if you want to come over to this and put your 35 pilot in there and, you know, whatever. But what I do like, I will get that brass out of there. Those little brass shavings. There we go. Nice piece. So we'll do that to all of these. And then we'll be ready to prime. Now you can stay down there at the reloading bench and do the rest of everything, or you can get yourself a nice apron, hand primer, some classic primers, and know your work. Then come up here and watch your son play Fortnite. Loads everywhere. All right, these are various Lyman cast bullet manuals. We are shooting back that up just a fuzz. Those little beauties there. .207 grain. Okay. So our load data calls for, all of our load manuals call for 206 grain bullets. So it's calling for lighter bullets. Do not go max load. Plus with lead, you don't want to anyhow. You have a melting point. None of these have gas checks. So 206 grain alloy. All right. What we're looking at, red dot 700X. Over here in this one, 206 grain, unique, 2400, IMR 4227, 4198, and 3031. Over in this one, 206 grain cast, unique, 2400, IMR 4227, 4198, and 3031. We're going to load IMR 4198. Starting load 20 grains at 1295. Max load 27 at 1800. 20 grains at 1295. Max load 1800. Okay. So we're going to use 4198. 10% down from 27 will roughly be 24.3. So that's 1800. That's 1300. 7 grains of difference. Yeah. 23.5 should put us around 1550 or so. Let's just keep it enjoyable. Old gun. We're going to use this in an old Remington Model 14 pump. So we don't want any undue pressure. Let's go with a nice easy load of 22 grains at 41.98. That's what I'm feeling right now. And our brass is trimmed at 19.06 or 1.906. Tell you what, let me get the ammo box of the last cast bullets I loaded and look it up. Actually, I won't have to do that. I should have some of my pet loads here. Let's see, 30-30 hunting load, 30-30 plinker, jackwagon, 45 ACP, 35 Remington cast. There we go. All right, factory TIM 1.910. All right, so we're 400 thousandths short. Okay. Yeah, 20.4. That's what we'll do. Factory trim. Make it 20.5. Same difference. So, let's see. We're going for 20.5. Look at that, 20.5. It's almost like somebody set this up. So if you noticed in the book, you probably couldn't because it was so far away. The book did reference an accuracy load and a factory duplication load using these. 1990 feet per second. I'm just wanting plankers, so I'm going to stick with these. It's around 1300 or so. We will crony them when we shoot. This gun is an old Remington Model 14 pump. I like shooting plinkers out of it. If I want to take it hunting, I have loaded FTXs. It doesn't like to feed them with that little plastic tip. This gun prefers the round nose bullets. I've loaded Sierra Pro Hunters. I even tried Hornady Spire points in it. So I'm sticking with round nose. I've always got the boxes of old Winchester to hunt with. And I don't know if you've ever shot a deer with a Hornady FTX. It kills them, great. But when you shoot a deer with one of these round noses, you hear the impact. Whop! Pretty neat. So, all right, let's charge all these cases, and then we'll see the bullet. It's always a good practice to look at your powder. Make sure none of them's double charged or undercharged. At that angle, that one looked a little low. In fact, it is not. Okay. Book calls for a maximum overall length of 2.525. Move that to the bullet seating die there, that one up top. Now, I unscrewed it because pretty sure last time I was loading 180s, I unscrewed it quite a ways. We're going for let's go for 2.5. Pretty looking round. Now, a lot of times you'll feel sometimes those hand tools for priming when you've ran several thousand rounds through them. Make sure that primer's good and flush. .501. We'll give it a slight adjustment. And work it down to 2.500. There she is. Now that it's set, you can crank them out. I don't believe I'm going to crimp these. I've never shot an animal with a lead bullet, cast bullet. Where I'm at, yeah, we got hogs and bears and stuff, but I'm a fan of modern ballistics. I've recovered several different projectiles and different speeds from animals, but anyhow, all right. So that's my plink and load. Hope you enjoyed.